It's the Stack Attack Fantasy Podcast, your one-stop shop to dominate fantasy baseball and football. Come get some.
Yo, baby, yo, here we go. Let's start the show. It's the Stack Attack Fantasy Podcast. We're finally back. I'm your host, Jeff Trella. With me, as always, my brother from another mother. Good to see you again, my dude. What's up, Trader Andy?
Been too long, my man.
Yeah.
I figured you were going to mess up your intro because you haven't done it in a while.
I forgot. I actually had to take notes. I forgot what to say. But
well, because when you're here, your family, it's okay.
You've been holding that one, huh?
Absolutely.
All right. And flanking him to the left, as always, is the Greek god of mock drafts. It's Mr. Nick Mimi. What's up, dude?
What's going on? What's up? Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. It's like we're having a battle here for who has the worst lighting today, because I put about 4 seconds into working on my lighting. You look like you're back with the Taliban. It's dark there again.
For me?
Yeah.
Laundry room. I gotta hide.
All right. Cool. All right, guys. We always start off with a victory lap. Nick, do you got anything good for me that happened? I haven't talked to you in about 2 weeks.
Of course I do. I got my two favorite running backs from the offseason, Austin Eckler and Jonathan Taylor. They're showing up. I remember a time in the offseason, and we talked about this, where Carson Wentz, Nelson, they both got injured, and people started taking victory laps. Jonathan Taylor's a bust. Well, 76-yard touchdown last night said otherwise. And Austin Eckler's on the hottest team in football right now. So, both on my fishbowl team. I'm pretty happy about that.
Hell yeah. Eckler is number 2 in PPR scoring overall among running backs. And I think Taylor's just inside the top 10, like number 8 or number 9. So good for you, man. Congrats on that. Just stay healthy now.
And another victory lap. Before this week, I was number 10 overall in Warrior Bowl. And then Mahomes decided to shoot myself in the foot on that one last night or the other night.
So you're taking a victory lap for last week? All right.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. We were on last week.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
True. All right, cool. You've been holding that one. All right, Andy, what do you got for me?
Well, we're going to go away from football for a minute. It's, the end of the year. I'm getting ready to collect all my trophies and cash from all the leagues I won. I also had one of our bigger home leagues. I had 3 points away from a perfect season, which was pretty impressive. And I'm pretty excited about that. But I'll be bringing back the same team next year, too. So it's on. But real quick, before we get into anything else, I just want to throw, before we get into some negativity stuff, I just want to say, for everyone who went to the rally for Reed, I'm wearing my little shirt today. All the proceeds, they did really well there. It was a great outing, and I appreciate everybody who's stepped up and helped us out. Nice.
All right. My victory lap is personal. I got to see the sun today. That was really exciting. It was the first time. I was telling my wife, it was the first time in more than 2 weeks that I drove to work or home from work and the sun was out. And I like that. That was nice. All right, Nick, let's crash and burn. What do you got?
Fishbowl last night. I needed a monster game out of Jonathan Taylor. I had 34 points. I scored 187 points. My opponent was 0-4. He had Lamar Jackson. He scored 267 points last night. So, shot.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. A lot of people went to sleep last night.
Right here.
Thinking that they were down and dead, or that they had an easy win. And there were just so many ways it could go wrong. Whether it was Marquise Brown, Lamar, JT, Andrews, a whole bunch went off, man. I went to sleep with 4 minutes left. I had a 3-team parlay that had the Ravens money line. And I was just absolutely shocked to wake up and see that I hit it. That was pretty nice. Free couple extra ducats in the account. We'll come back to you on a crash and burn, but mine's the same thing. Fishbowl, 9. Count them, 9 players on injured reserve. 9 players on injured reserve. I am now on my 5th quarterback in a super flex. I'm on quarterback 5 and 6. I'm currently 2 and 3 after I was in the I was in the top 20 in points after week 2. It is not looking good. So, Andy, what do you got for me?
No, well, this is a crash and burn for Fantasy Plus reality. I mean, I'm just gonna throw up in my mouth that I'm actually gonna put a bid in tonight, a heavy bid tonight on Geno Smith. I mean, what does this world come to? I hate fantasy football just because of this. You're going through 5 guys. I've got everybody's hurt too.
Burgers and fries.
Geno.
That is definitely a vomit in the mouth type of pickup, and I'll be making the same pickup myself.
And that's the same thing. You know, we saw Geno Smith firsthand, so we know he sucks. And that's why me and Nick were saying the same thing about Sam Darnold. And what is he? Garbage.
And look what's going on. He's reverting.
Yeah. All right. Anyone got something they want to rant about before we get into week 6?
Hold on. I do. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Is he going to do sit-ups? Push-ups?
Something.
So, half hour before the show starts, my son tells my wife and I that he's getting bullied in school by one of his friends. First reaction, I want to go beat the dad up and flip out. I told him to hit the kid, and I did all this crazy stuff because, you know, I'm taught you need to stand up for yourself. But I guess it's a different time now, and that she has to reach out to the teacher. But if that doesn't work, I'm going to the school. I don't care. But that's my rant. And I know it's my first time being a parent. So be it. But I'm going to protect him. He's not getting picked on. All right, carry on.
Are you actively threatening somebody over the internet right now? This is cyberbullying in return.
Can't do that.
I don't even know who he is. I don't even know who he is yet. Eric's dad.
Yeah.
Henry.
All right, you're canceled.
All right.
It's been nice knowing you, Andy. Cyberbully. All right, let's get into week 6. Nick, let's start with the waiver wire first. The article's up on stackattackfantasy.com. Let's start off like we usually do with the running backs, because that's usually where most people are looking when they're making their waiver claims and dropping 50% of their fab budget weekly. So who's jumping out on you this week from the running back perspective? Because I'm definitely looking for
this is a big
help.
this is a big week because you got the bye weeks coming up. Saints are on bye. Alvin Kamara's out. Michael Carter in the Jets has been emerging. He's out. Elijah Mitchell, he's done. By the way, Trey Sermon, he's droppable and redraft at this point.
I will take all of that and scoop it
I
all
was
up.
waiting for that.
just wait 6 weeks and then take a victory lap in week 12 when I'm already out of the playoffs that he went off.
So there's a few running backs that are going to have value this week in the waiver wire process. If you look at the Bears, Khalil Herbert, he's got something going on right there. Damian Williams was the top ad, but Herbert, 18 rushes for 75 yards. I mean, it's not flashy, but Williams had 16 carries. Herbert had 18 carries. So it's showing a true split in that backfield. So if you need a running back there, he could be your guy.
But is there PPR value there? Or are you looking at like he's touchdown dependent? He's touchdown dependent in PPR, right?
Yeah, Damian Williams was the one with the pass catching. I think he had 2 catches in that game. But Herbert's going to be the ground and pound guy, it looks like, just from that at least stat line. And then the big news was Saquon's ankle, of course, getting rolled on once again. And he is out probably, I would say, a good month possibly. Devontae Booker filled in pretty good for him. He 16 rushes for 42 yards and a touchdown on the ground. He had 3 catches on 4 targets for 16 yards and a receiving touchdown. He's a solid RB2 play at this point. Giants are pretty bad, so he'll be playing from behind. So it looks like he'll be getting a lot of receiving yards. And he could have Mike Glennon playing quarterback next week.
Oh, God.
Dude, I drafted Devontae Booker in Fishbowl just because Andy's such a hater and non-believer in Barkley and, you know, the expectation for the injury and everything. And I just thought, I'm like, that's such a great play.
Yeah.
And I took him in the waning rounds and everything like that. Waived him 2 weeks ago to pick up Quintez Cephas, and I thought it was a genius. I got him for like $2 out of 100. Super, looked super freaking awesome. And now here I am 3 weeks later. I'm going to put in a bid for Devontae Booker and waive Quintez Cephas. So I'm reversing the trend.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I cut Cordell Patterson after week 1.
Yeah, that was my fault. I told you.
My guy.
I blame you for that.
All mine.
I got to own that, man. But the bottom line, the bottom line is that Patterson is just straight up. He's a weapon. He's a weapon. And as much as I said, and my analysis at the time was, he's big play dependent. He's going to be touchdown dependent, and they're just not going to ground and pound him. He's not going to get enough touches, but he's doing it and he's getting the touches. And he's right now he's a top 5 RB in
and for
PPR
some reason,
formats.
I've been looking at my best ball teams. I have a lot of shares of him. I did not realize that.
Oh, good for you.
It's working.
Right. Yeah, it definitely is because that's a last round grab. So
yeah. So at this point, the Giants are a disaster. Saquon's out. We could be talking a month. I don't know.
Fade him always.
But that ankle was huge.
Yeah.
Never owned again.
But he's a tough player. I think he's going to want to try and come back. But the Giants too, they got to think ahead. I mean, they want to give Saquon a contract at some point. When do you start? And you're 1-8 when he's back. Are you going to push him back? Are you going to force him back?
No,
I don't think he's going to play a full backfield if they're 1-8 by the time he comes back because that schedule is brutal.
All right, so Booker is probably a 50% of fab kind of guy, right? It's painful.
No, in my fishbowl league,
especially for you.
It's going to be probably more than 50.
Oh God,
for me.
Oh, $2.
And it's disgusting because it we were talking about this privately. If you're in a situation where you're 1-4 or 2-3 or 3-2 with injuries, there's no reason to hold any fab. You got to start blowing it. Like it's now or never. You're going into the bye weeks, and you got an opportunity to take a couple of impact players here. Like you have to take that, no matter what the format.
And the thing is, this is the week you save your waiver for. This is the week you save your fab for. I mean, this is bye weeks are here. Teams are hurting. You got to do it. And some of these running backs, I mean, these two alone. I mean, Booker especially is probably the top ad outside of Darrell Williams from the Chiefs.
All right. So Williams, what do you think? You're looking at 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, well, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's on IR now, so minimum 3 weeks he's going to be gone for. You do have Jerick McKinnon in the backfield. Andy, perk up because the return of the Mac has been rumored to the Chiefs. I think Jeremy Fowler of ESPN was reporting that today. So that's a legit possibility. As of now, Darrell Williams is the guy. He's the one you should be looking at. I do cautious myself with the amount of waiver priority I would use on him just with the Mac news. But I think this week he's going to get the full carry. I mean, he had 5 carries, 27 yards. He also saw 5 targets in the air. So, and the Chiefs surprisingly have been losing. So he might be playing from behind. He might be getting a lot of work. A lot of analysts today are even saying that he might be playing better than Edwards-Helaire. So this could be a good pickup.
All right. While we're on Darrell Williams, I want to bring him up and ask a question of you guys. I got it. We've talked about this league quite a bit. I have this dynasty league that I made 3,000 trades in, and I acquired 4 first-round picks and several second-round picks. So I have 5 of the 12 first-round picks going into next year's rookie draft.
That's it.
And I traded back. I had no first-round pick, anything, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm 5-0, okay? So I absolutely got some luck going on, and I killed it in some other areas. But I got a trade offer today. Somebody wanting a number 1 pick from me. All right. So a next year number 1 and a next year number 3. Obviously, I have next year number 1s to give, and I'm 5-0. So I'm comfortable giving my own, expecting it to be the back end of the first. Okay. So my team is in shambles right now. So it's a super flex, and my quarterbacks are Jalen Hurts and Daniel Jones. So I don't know if I have a quarterback for next week outside of Hurts. My running backs, I usually start Mike Davis on the bottom end, but I have Dalvin Cook, who's questionable. Davis is on a bye. Zeke Elliott is a little banged up. And then I got nothing after that. My best running back is Jamal Williams. Okay. Wide receivers, I got Marquez Callaway in a bye. I just lost Quintez Cephas. Julio Jones is hurt. DeAndre Hopkins hasn't come into form yet. Mike Williams is the wide receiver number 2 overall. And then my tight end is Gesicki, and I had Gronk, who's not playing. So I got injuries everywhere. I could barely field the team. So this guy is offering me. Now, mind you, super flex and I only have 2 quarterbacks on my roster, this guy's offering me Darrell Williams and Jared Goff for a 1 and a 3.
No.
It's a 5-0 team that I can barely field a lineup right now.
No.
And Darrell Williams is going to be an RB1, RB2 for the next
3-4 weeks.
And you have a lot of first-round picks.
Right, and I have the picks to give, so it's a possibility of
I'd fish elsewhere.
A 5-0 team going to 5-4.
I'd fish elsewhere.
All right.
Well,
so you're basically saying that Darrell Williams is not a high impact player for the next 4 weeks.
In dynasty purposes.
Yeah,
just this year.
I don't care about the
future. If you're playing to win this year,
the future's always net. The future's. I mean, I got 5 first-round picks and I'm 5-0, so why not play for right now?
You have extra draft capital.
I'd counter with a 2 and a 3.
Goff's. I'm not getting it with. Well, if I offer my 1, it's a back end number 1, so it's really technically like a early 2. Same situation. And I really like my early take on the college football landscape and next year's draft from a skill perspective. It's not close to the last 2 years, I don't think.
No, and the quarterback situation looks horrible.
Yeah, the quarterback situation's down. I mean, there's a couple of guys I like, but it's not that special.
I'm already looking at mock drafts.
You got to play the Herm Edwards thing, and you got to play to win the game.
I'm on Tankathon every week.
Let's go.
We got picks 4 and picks 12.
All right. So I'm going to hold for now, and I'm going to look at that later on and cry if it's wrong. All right. So Chris Carson is still questionable with a neck injury. Yeah. So are we picking up Alex Collins if he's still out there for you? Or
I got him last week.
Yeah, Pete Carroll was saying that he turned the corner, Carson, but you don't know how much this is going to linger. I think Collins is a very safe handcuff play, especially if you have Chris Carson.
And no Wilson. No Russell Wilson.
Wilson.
There you go.
That first round draft pick looks awfully good next year. Just gonna say that.
Yeah, I know you're loving that.
Give me 2 top 10 picks.
Yeah. All right. So Alex Collins, what are you saying? He's probably gone in 12 teams.
He's 40 on ESPN. He's 42% rostered. I mean, if he's out there, go get him. But I wouldn't make a big priority unless you have Chris Carson.
Cool. All right, another guy I waived in Fishbowl a couple of weeks ago, Ramondre Stevenson, a couple of inactives, and now suddenly he gets like 11 carries or something like that.
11 carries, crappy yardage, 23 yards, but Damian Harris
trusted to go out there and get the ball. Yeah.
Damian Harris fumbled the ball at the goal line, and now he mysteriously has ribbon chest injuries. Jonas Gray route incoming. I don't know what to say about Belichick. I mean, Brandon Bolden's filling in the James White role, and if for some reason Damian Harris sits, Stevenson gets a full workload Sunday.
All right, nice. The other running back you mentioned in your article, A.J. Dillon, obviously he's taken in all 12-team formats, but he's probably flex eligible, right?
Yeah, he's 56% rostered, only in ESPN. He's not fully rostered.
I think that's because it's a lot of 10-team.
Yeah, a lot of 18
leagues. Yeah, but he's definitely someone you want to peek at, see if he's there. I mean, he had 14 carries and 5 targets. I mean, I don't know. Green Bay never freaking gives Aaron Jones a full workload. It seems like.
Yeah. Speaking of Green Bay, that's hilarious because there was this. We were talking about Crash and Burns, and you know what Jeff's Crash and Burns should have been? That he has 20 leagues that he's in, and he only has 1 kicker. And who's that kicker? Mason Crosby.
That's just like it couldn't even existed, right? Like, how did that even happen?
That was terrible.
They missed 5 field goals in 8 minutes, and I had all of them, and I refused to play in leagues with kickers.
Well, even worse on the East Coast here, they cut the game for the Giants Cowboys.
Yeah.
People, I always get my parents are actually watching. And my mom texted me. She's like, "Wait a second, we wanted to watch this game, not this crappy ass Giants game. Like they suck."
I was just glad that Crosby had the decency not to celebrate afterwards. Like he just walked off. Like I'll show myself out now.
Yeah, I'll leave. I've nothing to brag about.
All right.
And I am convinced that Aaron Rodgers threw that first game. By the way.
Oh, geez, that's bold, Cotton.
All
right. I want to peek ahead a little bit at DFS. Some of the higher end players. Derrick Henry has a tough matchup this week. Buffalo, we're probably going to stay away from him, even though he's my moneymaker in DFS.
No, he's Monday night, dude. Monday night.
Well, we're looking at the whole slate. So
yeah.
The moneymakers this week will probably be Najee Harris, who has a great matchup against Seattle, who is just leaked to running backs, and your guy Eckler, who plays I think Baltimore, right? And they just bleed out to running backs as well. So a couple of high end plays there. Might be a little scared of Aaron Jones playing in Chicago this week.
I'd avoid that.
Yeah. DeAndre Swift looks pretty good at home against Cincinnati. He's like RB number 6 overall, I believe, right now in PPR formats. James Robinson, you're probably not playing in many DFS contests that include the 9:30 in the morning game. What's better than waking up at 9:30 and watching your team get spanked before the day even starts? I mean,
I got home at 3 a.m. from work, and I slept for a few hours, and I woke up to that debacle.
All right.
And at 9:30, as soon as kickoff happens, my wife looks at me and she goes, "Oh, you a ShopRite for me?" One of those things.
Yep. All right. Let's move over to the wide receivers, and I think Nick, your number one guy on the waiver wire this week, also comes from the New York Giants. So talk to me about Kadarius Toney.
You have to put him up here as the number one. I mean, his status for next week is questionable, but what he did on Sunday was phenomenal. 13 targets, 10 catches for $189. That's absurd. I mean, granted, he tried to throw a punch at somebody with a helmet on, bonehead, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be suspended. Maybe a fine. Injury, keep an eye on. Maybe he has to miss a week. But you do have to remember, the Giants had literally nobody to throw to. Kenny Galladay is glass. Sterling Shepard's out. Darius Slayton's out. Saquon Barkley's ankle is like 3 times the size of a golf ball. So he was the only target. But it shouldn't take that to get your number one draft pick targets. I think he's going to stay like this. I think he's going to start every week from here on out. You have to monitor who's playing quarterback also. If it's Glennon, you fade him. So something to keep an eye on.
But I'm going to challenge you on that. Because
hey, we got a like on Facebook. Look at that.
There you go. Kadarius Toney, the last 2 weeks, and obviously he's only been a factor for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Number 1 in the NFL in yards after the catch.
Yeah.
So just get him the ball and let him make a play.
Yeah.
Like that's what he was. That's what he was from Jump Street. You know, that's I remember saying it. I have so many shares of him in Dynasty because he was going in the middle of the second round, and I did pretty well last year. So most of my picks were kind of, at the back end of the second round, and I was missing out on Terrace Marshall left and right, and I was taking Toney as a consolation prize. He's got such a Tyreek Hill like skill set. It's crazy.
He was making insane catches. Like, this kid's good.
Yep. So
I mean, it just goes in the mindset of get your talent player the ball. I mean, I know we're talking about the Giants, but look at the Jets. They're not giving Elijah Moore the ball. He's on the sideline half the times. Get these kids the ball.
Right. I don't play in too many leagues where Kadarius Toney's available, but I would recommend this is like a 75% type of fab player.
He's gonna blow up.
Yep.
He's gonna have a huge season. Even if he misses a week, he's gonna be faded onto the waivers. Maybe he'll be a quick drop by somebody.
He's perfectly fine. There was some chatter about Judge saying that he was kind of playing it week to week, but it turned out that he was misquoted and he was talking about the defensive back with a similar name. So he said Kadarius Toney's perfectly fine. He's practicing.
Well, for anybody in my leagues, next week.
Yeah, don't talk about home leagues. Move on.
Yep.
All
right. So we've talked about Rondell Moore here 1,000 times over. We've talked about Amon-Ra St. Brown here 1,000 times over.
Mm-hmm.
They're back on the radar. What do we think?
Yep. Rondell Moore, did you see that one sick catch he had in the sideline? He had a touchdown even called back from him. But the problem is, it's Arizona. They have the 4 receiver sets. You don't know which week who's going to pop off. So that's the only issue. We start Rondell Moore next week. AJ Green gets 5 touchdowns. We start AJ Green. Christian Kirk goes off. It's an endless cycle.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's starting to pick it up little by little. Every week we're seeing improvement with him. The Lions literally have nobody else to throw to. for the most part. Quintez Cephas actually broke his collarbone.
Yeah, he's
So
done.
he's done. So expect more target share for Ross St. Brown.
Right. It's actually a pretty good week for wide receivers. I mean, Mecole Hardman came on the radar. He had a good game. Tyreek was a little banged up, but it looks like he's 100%.
He's fine.
You know, he's always there. I'm not so sure. I'm not worried about Josh Gordon as a Hardman owner, but
No.
I don't know. But Marquez Callaway is readily available. You mentioned him. The one thing I would note, and I'm the guy in my fishbowl league that got Callaway going into the season on the first waivers. His last 2 games, he's really popped off, but he's had 2 absolute circus like touchdowns that weren't skills. It was a Hail Mary and another wacky jump pass, whatever. So if you take those 2 touchdowns out, he's still pedestrian. So I'm not really, yeah. And MT is getting ready to come back maybe after the bye.
Yeah, my buddy of mine, Dave, who was on last week, 2 weeks ago with us, he's in a situation where he has Callaway in a dynasty, and he was telling me that he has Saquon and he wants Booker, and of course Booker's rostered in a dynasty. So he's like, "Oh, who should I trade for him?" He mentioned Sutton, he mentioned Callaway, he mentioned Miles Sanders. I'm like, throw Callaway at him. Start there. It's dynasty. The Booker manager might just want to unload him quickly, sell high.
Yep. What about Rashad Bateman? You think he's ready to come back?
Yeah, he's coming back next week. It sounds like they held him out last night. He probably would have had 30 touchdowns too, but he was getting a lot of hype in the preseason. We talked about him on this show left and right. I think he's going to play very well. Might start maybe a little slow in the first week, but that star's right there. He was a very good college receiver, and I want to see him translate over to the NFL.
Nice. And the last wide receiver in your article, Tim Patrick.
Yeah.
I think he's double-digit PPR points every week but one.
Every week but one.
Yep.
He had 9 targets on Sunday for 89 yards. Judy is still out. Sutton and the Tim Patrick show. KJ Hamler is out. Noah Fant was not really involved on Sunday for whatever reason.
He's invisible.
Tim Patrick's a guy. He needs to really be rostered more. He's under the radar. He's a great flex play, honestly. And and really, if you look at your home leagues, I bet you won't even be picked up tonight. All over.
All right. So looking ahead at DFS for the week. Quick quiz. Could you guys tell me who's number 1 and number 2 in PPR points for wide receivers this year?
Marquise Brown is number 2.
He's number 4 now.
Oh.
Number 4. It's Cooper Kupp number 1 and Mike Williams number 2. Would you believe that? Wow.
Mike Williams is on fire.
I got shares everywhere. But I keep benching Mike Williams because it's just like I look at it and in bad matchups, but he's still popping off. Like it's crazy.
And Keenan Allen's been faded left and right too.
It's just strange. Like what's different from last year? Because last year
he's healthy.
Keenan Allen was a massive target fiend, and Mike Williams is the alpha now, big time.
Yeah, I don't think it's going away either.
Who's the offensive coordinator for the Chargers?
Lombardi.
Where was he last year?
He was in the Saints last year.
Yeah, he said that Mike Williams is playing his Michael Thomas role, and that's why he's popping off and Keenan Allen's fading. That's what I heard.
All right, cool. Good nugget there, Andy. I like that.
No, I'm a baseball guy.
All right, so more guys. The guys on the high end that are in a great spot. Tyreek Hill, if he's healthy. The football team gives up the second most PPR points to wide receivers. Devontae Adams is always the guy, but the Bears are just bleeding to wide receivers right now. Marquise Brown, the guy you just mentioned, is in a bad matchup against the Chargers, so he's a little bit more of a stay away, but we'll get more in depth on that at a later date. So what do you want to do next? You want to do tight ends or you want to do quarterbacks, Nick?
Let's go to tight ends.
Right.
It's a pretty popular question whenever you see it. The position being pretty scarce.
Right. All right. So David Njoku looked pretty solid this week.
No joke.
No joke.
That was not Austin Hooper.
Hooper's your guy, right?
Yeah, I love Hooper. So Njoku came out of nowhere.
Right. So what do you think the prospects are moving forward? Because he's generally available. He's actually available
everywhere.
in the fishbowl in my league, which is
Yeah,
a tight end premium. So
7 targets for $149 and a touchdown. That's pretty good. I mean, it was pretty much a straightforward shootout. I think I saw a crazy stat. I think teams were 400-0 when they scored over 40 points and did not turn the ball over once. And then the Cleveland Browns were the first loss ever. But no, Njoku did great. Sustainability is the question. But if you're in need of a tight end, for example, I have Tyler Higbee. He's pretty much ghosting right now. Maybe I take the risk and I throw Njoku in there for a week and see what he does. And if he takes off, you keep him in. It's like a Dawson Knox situation. He's going to keep doing great and great.
All right. So any other tight ends that you're looking at if Njoku goes a little bit too high? Before you even go to anybody else, is Njoku worth a fairly large bid, or is this like a 10% guy?
No, not even 10%. I would go 5% tops. I don't think he'll be picked up mostly all over.
Yeah, he's gonna be the kind of guy that somebody is who has George Kittle and feels like they're in trouble is going to see that 149 yards and just think like, oh, all in.
Someone's going to pick him up this week. He's going to put up a stinker next week. They'll immediately drop him, and then he'll be back on the waivers.
He's going to pull Max Williams. Gotcha.
Exactly. Outside of him, there's 2 of the tight ends I put on there. Dan Arnold from Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence's safety blanket, 8 targets, 64 yards. And then the other one I put on there was not somebody we expected, Hunter Henry. Jonnu Smith got the big contract, and Hunter Henry's making noise. 8 targets, 75 yards, and a touchdown. He's the guy right now.
And Hunter Henry has Dallas this week, who just absolutely is a sieve to the tight end position. They've gotten eaten alive. So, and he's only, I think, $3,900 on DraftKings. He's going to be the heavy owned tight end this week. So
as he should be.
He's in a great spot. That's it for your waiver wire for tight end.
Yeah, and then we get to quarterbacks.
Come on.
All right, Andy, quick DFS look ahead. Kelsey has Washington. He's 7,000 on DraftKings. Or you're going to go to Mark Andrews, who's playing the Chargers for $2,000 less. The Chargers are the 3rd worst against the tight end. That's probably going to be pretty popular, right?
Yeah, it seems like the place to go.
Yeah, I think we'll be building some lineups with both Hunter Henry and Mark Andrews in it. That's going to be a nice GPP build to get you where you want to go.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, let's transition over to the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Vomit in my mouth.
Oh, yeah, I already am. I have acid reflux here.
All right. So Russell Wilson gave us all the finger. He's going to be out for a solid month, maybe more. And so I guess we're looking at Geno Smith.
Yeah, Geno Smith, if IK Incompala, whatever his name is, doesn't punch him in the jaw again. Yep, I get the Jet fans will get that reference. It's Geno. I mean, you're only drafting him in Superflex or
you're desperate.
Yeah, no, he's not an option at all in any 1 quarterback leagues. 2 quarterback leagues, yeah, I would put a waiver in for him. I have Russell in a league. I'm gonna have to put a bid in on him. It sucks.
How much?
I'm not saying it.
No, I mean, no one's listening. No one's listening, bro. So just tell me.
Pigbird's listening.
Pigbird's listening.
No, he was listening. He's gone.
Which, mind you, on our Roto Football League, 2nd place right here. I see you charging hard, Jeff, in 3rd there.
Yep. Thank
you.
Lamar.
Joe Miller's in 1st place.
Yep. Oh,
he's 2 weeks in a row. He's in here.
Top 3 represent.
Yeah, buddy.
Nice. All right.
And then the other quarterback put on there is another super flex option, Davis Mills. He threw 4 picks the previous week, and of course against Belichick he goes off, but that's nothing there.
Yeah,
no.
I can't do it. So
nope, don't do it.
I'm in the fishbowl. I have Tua and Brissett. I'm praying I have one of them with
Tua's back. Tua's back.
He is not going to play this week, dude.
No, they're saying he should be playing this week. He's designated for return.
They designated him for return, which starts his 21-day clock. He was seen throwing today. He's a possibility for practice tomorrow. and they have to fly across the world and go 5 time zones over.
I
Ain't playing this week.
Yeah, come on, man. You're talking about practice.
Yeah,
Practice. Come on.
He ain't playing this week, man. But what do they call it? Oh, practice in London is training, and it's not on the field; it's the pitch. Right there, Ted Lasso in the upper right.
I feel like a little lead tasso right now. Getting all fired up with this crap. By the way, that was awesome. If anyone is listening, Ted Lasso was a great thing. Jeff got me into it, and I bought into it. I watched the first 2. It's great.
Awesome.
All
All
right,
right. So Nick, let's wrap it up on Geno Smith. I need help
Hold on
here.
a second. We see Pigbird 5-0 in Fishbowl.
Oh, he's still here. I thought you said you were here, so I thought you were gone.
He's 5-0 in Fishbowl.
Yes. He's 5-0 in Fishbowl. He owes us his life because we got him into the Fishbowl. And I made him as soon as Mike, what was it I said to you when you showed me your final team? I said something like, make sure you thank me when they invite you on stage or something along those lines, because his team is sick. But
that's better than what you used to tell me. You're like, oh, I would tell you my team. You're like, did you pay for the league yet? I'm like, no. He goes, run out the back door. And I always made the money. Yeah, it's horrible though.
Nice. All right, so back to Geno Smith in a league where you're a super flex and you're decimate. I'm currently 2-3 in Fishbowl with a really strong score into the 800s because I've had a couple of strong weeks, but I'm now on my 5th and 6th quarterback, so I'm looking at starting Brissett and Davis Mills. How much am I putting on Geno Smith out of my remaining budget?
Oh, and Superflex?
Yeah, Fishbowl.
I would say, oh God, I would probably, if you need a quarterback, I'd probably say close to 40 or 50.
Yeah, sure. I think the move is just beg in my group chat for them to be lenient on me and be nice and just let me have them for free.
Go. No, you go.
No,
I was just saying on a quick side note. If you go to the Scott Fishbowl website, it now updates if your team is projected to make the playoffs. I'm at 2-3, and I am projected to make the playoffs as a point wild card right now.
How many points do you have?
8-14.
All right, I have the most points in my league. 3-2, 863 points.
Here you are. You are projected to make the points at 800. You're the point guy. You're the point favorite. You would get a bye right now.
He's in the minor leagues though. Like his league is like silly.
right now, Andy.
He's like, oh, can I pick up this guy Alex Collins? I'm like, he was drafted in my league
everywhere.
I got lucky, man. But there's some guy in the league that's 1-4, and he has 11 points less than me. I hate head-to-heads. Wow.
But that's what's great about this format is it doesn't matter.
Points. I would be in on points.
Who is it? I think it's Dustin Wilson, who was on our show once. That's in my league. He's 1-4, and he's projected to make the playoffs in my league. So,
well, the guy that beat me last night put up 267. I'm sure he's in there somewhere.
Yep. All right. So Geno Smith, 50% of your fab budget. This is not what I want our listeners to leave us on and think that is our advice for the week, is to spend 50% of your budget.
It's disgusting. Yep. I hope he loses every game.
Yep. All right,
on, baby.
Anything else with quarterback this week? I mean, so there's Josh Allen, as always. He gets Tennessee, and Tennessee's been a sieve to the quarterback position.
Just for redraft, keep an eye on Derek Carr. He might get cut because he's had a couple bad weeks. He's got a pretty favorable schedule coming out of the bye.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, they already cut the coach, so you never know.
Yeah, new offensive system there. Next.
Yeah, he's actually a top 12 quarterback as it is. So
yeah, and I would not be surprised to see him cut in standard leagues.
Right. Yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, definitely. All right. So what are we doing if you had Daniel Jones?
Sitting and waiting.
Yeah, it's a concussion.
I mean,
is there a chance that he plays this week?
You could throw a couple bucks on Mike Glennon. I don't think anybody's going to put money on Mike Glennon.
Don't do that, please.
But if you have Daniel Jones, throw a buck on Mike Glennon, maybe.
Right. Yeah. What do you think about Tyrod Taylor? Is he a week away or?
How's his lungs?
Oh, jeez, his lungs are
How's
fine.
how's the doctor in Houston?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to talk about. Listen, I'm gonna say something publicly, and this is gonna be painful. Like,
Oh boy.
it absolutely hurts to watch freaking Herbert every week because I was so
Yeah.
team Tua 1,000%. I thought Herbert was the bust of all busts. He never in his life took a snap under center
I do recall
until
you saying
his first pro game,
I
and
do
he
recall
just
you
looks
that
like frickin' John Elway.
that night of the draft saying that if the Dolphins draft Herbert over Tua, I'm never watching them again. I do recall you saying that.
I meant it. I meant it, and I live it. And I mean, there's
But
still
you know
hope.
what? I think it's the offensive system too, because that team is stacked right now. I mean, he's got Eckler, he's got Mike Williams, he's got Keenan Allen, he's got Rashawn Slater, who's all pro tackle right now. I mean, that team is clicking fire on all cylinders,
right,
coaching everything.
right. And to his credit, Tua has about 6 career starts at this point. So, I mean, we need an offensive line. That's obvious, but Herbert MVP candidate. Ugh. And Neil, I hate you. That's my buddy Ed Neal, but it hurt me to see that right there. All right. Anything else at quarterback before we get the hell out of here? Because I'm heartbroken.
Nah, nothing at all.
All right.
So Nick, when's the trade deadline in real
For the
football?
NFL, I think it's the end of October. I think it's the end of October.
2nd? Okay.
I want to say it's the end of October.
So we're like 2 weeks away. Is there any targets 2 weeks away that we should pick up now that possibly could hit later, like a Marlon Mack type? Or
Yeah, I didn't mention this before going to the trade. I did mention this too. Dallas Goedert is on the COVID list and has Zach Ertz has a very juicy matchup Thursday night against the Bucks. If Goddard's out, I'd be firing up Ertz left and right. Trade deadline wise, who knows? Schefter put out a report yesterday that said teams were calling the Ravens about their garbage disposal of running backs. So I don't know what to take of that. I don't know if that's just the Ravens trying to bluff something, but Marlon Mack, I think, is the key name to keep an eye on.
Deshaun Watson to the Dolphins? No.
What's that?
Deshaun Watson to the Dolphins, maybe?
It's not going to. I mean,
I know.
It might happen, but it's not going to happen in the middle of the season.
No, you can't. Then you have to establish a system with him. It wouldn't work.
Right. And they shot themselves in the foot because at 1-4, they don't even have their own first round pick. They have San Francisco's. They swapped them in that whole debacle of the 2 trades in the same day. So
yeah, Eagles right now have 3 picks in the top 10.
Yeah. Crap. All right. Anything else intelligent to add before we get the hell out of here? Said a couple of smart things in the beginning.
Keep an eye on your dropped list and the rostered percentage list. Some studs might get dropped tonight and swoop them up.
All right, cool. Andy, anything to add?
No. I'm getting ready for the basketball season. I'm doing a bunch of basketball leagues. If anybody has so many questions, because no one really does basketball, but I'm there on Twitter if you need me.
Is Patrick Ewing available with the first overall pick? Because that's why.
On that note, there's nothing else smart to say. Let's move on.
If we're going fantasy hockey, I'm taking Scott Niedermayer.
Hey, at least you knew somebody. That's pretty good.
I was a Dallas fan in the early 2000s.
Listen, I have done some really strong bankroll building betting on period totals in hockey. I can't name 2 players on any team, but I've made some good money just betting overs and unders on periods because it's some of these teams just the way they come out at the beginning of the game are lights out, and others second period lights out. Lots of money to be made, but I'll put that out on Twitter. I'm not going to take any of that time up here. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. It's been nice to get back on the air after 2 weeks of grueling hell at work. But this has been the Stack Attack Fantasy Podcast. I'm Jeff Trella at JTrella20. This guy over here is at NMimi, the first guy in the history of Twitter. My man Trader Andy at AMAC22NJ. Trevor, once again, as always, thanks for all you do. Take us on out of here. Peace, guys.